This imposed transition will cost Surrey taxpayers nearly $750 million over the next 10 years. That is astonishing. That is the government's numbers. That's not ours. The report that was hidden from the public for over a year confirms that the Solicitor General and the Premier knew the cost the SPS would be well in excess of what they have been telling the public and what they have been saying to the City of Surrey. The City of Surrey had asked for a copy of the report over a year ago, and now we know why they didn't want to give it to us. But now we know why we were never provided the report. The only reason this report is out today is because the City of Surrey has taken court action against the province. In fact, we only got this today, this morning. The Premier and the Solicitor General have repeatedly claimed that this report confirms their estimates when it clearly, plainly shows the SPS model will cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars more than we even estimated. Even in this report, the ministry chose to use the most favorable outcomes that they could choose. And still, when you see the numbers, they are extraordinary. The NDP government had all this information at their hands, and yet they went ahead and changed the legislation anyway. They knew. They did it knowingly. It is clear that the city and Surrey taxpayers have been deliberately misled. It is clear that there has been a complete lack of transparency throughout this process, and that critical information has been withheld from the city and the taxpayers of Surrey. I also want to add, the costs found in the report do not factor in IT. We know the cost of IT is enormous. It does not include the training facility, which they had said they wanted, which is also a significant cost. It doesn't include the one-time transition costs, and it does not include the additional civilian members. The civilian staff, I'm sorry. It absolutely makes us wonder what else is in this report. The province, the Solicitor General specifically, needs to be held accountable for this betrayal of the public trust. As you can tell, I'm pretty upset. We are just now getting to see this report. We have not had a chance to do a deep dive on the information in the report, but I will do my best to answer whatever I can.
When do you expect this report will be made public?
The report, thank you. The report is registered with the court, and you can get it through court documents.
Okay, I know our outlet reached out to the city asking for the report. You declined to give us the report. Reasons for that, or just want us to do our own digging, or what's the
I'm not sure. We just got it within hours ago, so we weren't prepared for this today, to be frank with you. Bear with me a little bit as we try and understand what we're seeing today, because this is absolutely surreal to us right now.
I appreciate this information is still fairly new, and maybe you don't have an exact figure, but you're talking about $750 million in the next 10 years at a minimum. Ballpark, can you just guess what this would cost the average taxpayer in Surrey?
We haven't gone there. We know that it's $75 million dollars more a year. I'm guessing it's probably around 15% higher in our taxes just for this. That's a guess.
Did you say 1,550?
Pardon me?
How much percent did you say?
It will be $75 million more. If you recall, the minister said they knew it was 30. Obviously, they did not know it was 30. They knew it was 75. It's confirmed in here. So that would be somewhere around the 15% mark. 15% increase over and above.
I have a question. So, when Mr. Mike Farnworth made this announcement about this specific date of the transition, he said that he will issue a notice in the coming weeks to the city of Surrey that will terminate the city's police unit agreement with the province for the use of the RCMP as police of jurisdiction. And all these statements were made in the presence of RCMP Deputy Commissioner Dwayne McDonald. So it means that they are also, party to this now. So how would then, in that case, you would go ahead with action when the RCMP Deputy Commissioner himself was present there?
The Deputy Commissioner was there? The Deputy Commissioner would be there because he was likely instructed by the Solicitor General. The Solicitor General is the top cop, and he would make that demand. I can't tell you about the RCMP. I know I have a very good working relationship with the RCMP, but if you also saw the letter from the Commissioner was outlining a number of steps that could not be accomplished by what was provided by the province of British Columbia. Today, we're talking about the move forward. We're talking about what we saw in the court documents, and they are clearly astonishing.
Can you tell us why the $750 million will cost more than RCMP? As I'm aware that the staff numbers same, the functionality will be same as well, and the assets will be the same. But how this figure has come into existence?
Well, there's lots of reasons. I mean, not the least of which is that the collective agreement calls for two-person cars, and that makes all the difference in the world, and that shifts their numbers significantly. And in the press release, it talks about the numbers, and the numbers for the Surrey Police Service. What they're asking for now is 900 and I'm sorry, I'm trying to, the report was done 2 years ago, so in the report you'll see numbers of 900, but we have now included 50 more officers, so those have to be quantified and measured up. But it is because of two-man cars, or two-person cars. It is because of a number of other things that in the document you will see. But what it doesn't tell you about is all those things that were not identified as costs. As I said before, those are things like training facilities, civilian employees. Those are not included in these numbers. So to say that the number of 750 million is conservative would be, I believe, a fair statement.
As Minister Mike Farnworth has announced a date yesterday, November 29, 2024, what do you think of this date, and also the transition case is in court now? Do you think it will have any impact on Surrey?
The only thing that Minister Farnworth added yesterday was the date. It was, that was really it. There was nothing new there other than that date. There has still been no plan. There was no plan then. There is no plan today. The only thing new was the date.
Mayor, half of the councillors, 4 of the councillors, they are opposing the property tax increase as well. They are not supporting it. And yet the other council member and you have come forward with it. But the Surrey residents are hurting right now. They are not, they are not able to pay extra tax, extra increase. What is your message to them?
You know, Our property tax increase, I'm very proud of. It's a 6% property tax with a 1% road levy. I'm very proud of that. It really is dealing with a lot of the issues that we had to deal with in Surrey, not the least of which was public safety. And that budget also included a lot of public safety infrastructure and additional human resources, like police, like bylaws, and of course our fire department that had been woefully underfunded for a while, and we do have to move that up. So public safety was a big part of that. On the capital side, there were many new capital investments, and I know that residents want to see the new big community centre at Newton. I know that they want to see more amenities in the park, and we have done our best to do that within a very, very, I think, conservative and tight budget. So I'm very proud of that budget. And we did not contrary to what some on council may say, we did not get very many people coming in with opposition to our budget. There were actually a lot of kudos for the budget.
Mayor Locke, I know keeping the RCMP in Surrey was a big campaign promise for you, and most likely why you're so insistent on keeping the RCMP in Surrey. But we've also heard from a lot of people living here that, you know, it's time to move on. It's time to let this go. It's time to move forward. What would you say to those people?
I'm happy to move forward with the RCMP as the police of jurisdiction in the city of Surrey. I think this is a demonstration of why, one of the reasons why we must stay with the RCMP. Affordability is massive, as was just stated. We cannot do this to our residents. We cannot. And maybe the NDP wants to impose big taxes on the city of Surrey and on the residents of Surrey, but I can tell you my council does not. And so that is only one aspect of it. But I can tell you the other part. The other part is public safety. The crime severity index in Surrey has been declining for a decade. The RCMP have done a great job policing our city. It is a large, as everybody knows, we have a large city, both demographic and geographically, and so the RCMP has done a stellar job for us. There is no reason, and I would like to say this. I would love for both the Premier and the Solicitor General to tell us why they are imposing their will on the city of Surrey, because I can tell you, you're right. People want to see this done, but they have always said they want to stay with the RCMP, and all of the indications, all the polling, all the signs that you can still see on front lawns of people want the RCMP, and I get high fives every day from residents in our city saying they want the RCMP to stay. It only seems to be this Solicitor General and this Premier that want to have a Surrey Police Service, and again, I have no idea why.
Some council members are also saying that you are too much invested in this policy transition and not giving much attention to the other infrastructure project. For example, the Newton Community Center. There has been 2 mails from the city and the other council members, which has a lot of discrepancy. I'm unable to understand. One is saying that this project has been shoveled, it's not going forward anymore. But you are saying it's $300 million project, which is like more on increase, and it's a good project. So
I think it's 313 million, but we won't fuss over that. You know, they're opposition people. They would oppose everything along the way, and they opposed. 2 of them are with one group that fought for the Surrey Police Service, but the other group, they've been waffling back and forth on either side. I have nothing really to say about what the opposition wants to say, but I can tell you one thing. They did not support the Newton Rec Centre. They did not support more washroom facilities in our parks. They did not support the covered lacrosse box in Newton and in South Surrey. They did not support additional funding to go to all of the infrastructure projects, and there are a lot of them. If you take a look at the capital projects, there is a ton of them. So I sure hope that they don't think they're going to be coming and cutting ribbons because they didn't support any of it. And so maybe they're asleep. Maybe they weren't paying attention, but we certainly have been working hard on a number of really great projects. And we all know that the city of Surrey is growing faster than any other city. There is so much that we're going to be bringing forward over the next couple of years, not the least of which is the new arena or stadium that we're going to be building right here near City Centre.
Regarding this post-transition, you said that the reporters threatened you with the courts. How hopeful are you about the outcome of this case?
How hopeful am I about the court case? I will tell you this. Unlike what I've heard so far from the Solicitor General, I respect the courts and what they're going to be charged with doing, and it's going to be up to them. I'm not taking a position on it. I'm just going to respect the courts, and that starts on April 29th. So I do look forward to us getting into the courts.
What are you going to do if you lose? If you lose the battle, and it's the SPS and the court rules. What's next with Brenda Locke?
Well, this is not about Brenda Locke. I want to make that crystal clear. This never has been about Brenda Locke. This has been about public safety and the taxpayers of this city. So I will leave any judgment about what will happen to the courts. It's up to them to make decisions after they get to see and read all the documents before them, all the affidavits, including the one that you saw today, which I'm sure is astonishing for everybody.
No more questions? Okay, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.